anyone, especially against Hossein Vafaei.
Fan Zhengyi to break.
Just thinking, you know, Lee Walker, it was here at the Invitation Championship League around 18 months or so ago that Hossein Vafaei came in and he could hardly cue because overnight he developed that neck, shoulder, back injury that held him back for quite some time. But he seems now to be playing with a lot more freedom, both physically and mentally.
Yeah, towards the end of last season he looked particularly good. Played so well in the World Championship. The match he played against Judd Trump was a fantastic match. You know, Judd didn't play bad in any way, but Hossein still managed to get the better of him.
As for his opponent, Fan Zhengyi, well, we saw when he overcame Oliver Sykes 3-0 with breaks of 90, 59 and 67. He's capable of some pretty nifty stuff. He can knock them in from all over the place and, because of that, be intimidating.
Yeah, I probably would say Fan has probably played slightly better out of the two players today. Obviously, Hossein has won both his matches, but he has been helped a little bit by his opponents.
One.
Good pot on the red. Had to trust a little bit to luck with position. He's okay. He's got a nice angle on the green. He's got a couple of reds to the left of the pink.
Fan actually played very nicely the first time these two met as pros. It was the opening round of the Scottish Open in 2021. Fan made a 133 break and 2 half centuries, but lost 4-2. Their only other meeting, also 4-2 in favour of Vafaei in the last 64 of last year's Welsh Open.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier,
12.
Fan Zhengyi is a player I do like to watch.
13.
I think there is a lot more to come from him in the next few years. As I said earlier, he's already won a ranking tournament and beaten the great Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final of that as well. So shows you what a good player he is.
Yeah, O'Sullivan's been in a boatload of finals. Rankings-wise, I think the two most surprising defeats he suffered in those finals, one would be against Fan, the other would be against Jordan Brown in the Welsh Open. To be honest, though, O'Sullivan's so good, I think it's a surprise whenever he loses.
28.
Yeah, that is true. Fan again is
29.
taking these very nicely. Didn't look that much on when he came to the table, but he's a great chance now to go on and win this frame.
And Lee Walker is keeping quiet. But I can tell you, one of his clients, one of his players who he coaches, Liam Davis, has just potted the pink frame ball to take a 2-0 lead over Wang Zhihao. So fortunes for Davis, very much more positive than they were.
37.
It was a nice little shot there from Fan. It was a little bit awkward queuing. Judged a little black nicely as well.
Forty-four. 45.
'He's been in pretty good form already this season as well. Fan Zhengyi beat Peter Lines, the opening match of the China Open, then followed that up with a good win against Stan Modi. Lost a tight
53.
match against Fan Zhengyi, and then followed that up with a 5-3 win against Anton Kazakov in the Wuhan Open. So 3 wins out of 4. Pretty decent start.
60. 61. 63. 64.
'Well, just about to say
64.
that black was frame ball. Seen quite a few blacks off the spot miss today, and that's another one. Very surprising miss. Going along so nicely. Excellent break. Still 67 remaining.
Over the course of this tournament so far, over the course of the season, over the course of careers, it's amazing how often players miss quite simple frame balls. Just that extra grain of pressure, maybe, because they're aware, obviously, what's required. Vafaei didn't try anything at all extravagant there with the cue ball, so he's paid it forward and made this a real toughie.
Yeah, like you said, Phil, that was a very tough red. Didn't take any chances with the black, just made sure that he pot the black. So 56 points in it as Fan eyes up this plan. Well, I think you've done him on the plants, Phil.
Well, there I was, extolling his virtues, saying how good he was with plants, and I think he's missed his last 2 now. And that one, in the scheme of things, wasn't too difficult. If he loses this frame, he would be devastated. I apologise for repetition in advance, but these pockets are making the players take note. Of course, Hossein Vafaei has played on the Rassons in the invitation. Championship League if he was expecting buckets. Well, he had a rude awakening. This frame pretty much over now, Lee.
Yeah, I think all the players, just chatting to them in the players' room, they're all finding these pockets
7.
a little bit tighter than they have been over the last couple of years in this event.
I must say, considering the heat last week, the UK had a massive heat wave, and in fact they've updated today the highest ever temperature in the UK for June. They thought it was 37.4, but there was a weather station somewhere in the East Anglia region that noted a temperature on Friday of 37.7. So in that heat, I think conditions have been excellent, actually. The table fitters have done a really good job, but there is no doubt these pockets make you think.
24.
Yeah, it's an excellent start. Although he missed that routine black, which was frame ball. So I think he certainly played, for me, the best snooker so far of anyone in this group.
Fan Zhengyi, 26 as the frame.
Yeah, I would not disagree with that. And he's on his way to the victory he needs. The first piece of the puzzle has been affixed. 1-0 up on Hossein Vafaei. Now, on table 2, Liam Davis 2-0 up on Wang Jihao. And what's more, in the balls.
11.
And that's something he's been doing a lot over the last match and a half. Had a lot of good chances. And I must say, after a poor start today, when he was beaten 3-1 by Noppon Sankan, he's actually looked really good. Liam Davis is the kind of player, you don't know whether it's going to happen. You never know with anyone. But Liam Davis is the kind of player who, if he finds some confidence, he's got all the attributes, certainly technical, to become a world-class player. I think in that, actually, Lee, he's very similar to another Liam who we're going to see tomorrow, Liam Pullen.
Yeah, another very talented youngster. It is lovely to see some of these youngsters coming through now and playing some really good snooker.
Second frame, Hossein Vafaei to break.
Remember, Hossein Vafaei needs only a draw to top the group. But to do that, he now needs to win 2 of the next 3 frames.
Well, that's a bit of a safety mistake from Fan. Thought for a minute he was going to fluke the red, but stuck over this left-hand black pocket.
1.
Former world amateur champion, Hossein Vafaei. Undoubtedly the finest player Iran has ever produced. And they've produced several good players.
Yeah, we won't talk about the World Amateur Championship, Phil.
Yeah, I'm just opening the door there for you.
He actually beat me 10-9 on the black in the final, so I've just about got over it, and you reminded me of it. Thanks, Phil.
3.
Well, in a roundabout way.
Played that very well.
4.
And that red potted now means that the black will pot into both corner pockets. Into the pink again, I think. No. Decided to play for the loose red.
9. 10.
Just thinking about your world amateur final, Lee,
17.
in Bangalore, India. At least you didn't have a lengthy plane ride back to think about losing on the black. Could have been Australia, New Zealand,
18.
Vanuatu. So be honest now, was he lucky?
No.
25.
I was about 40 points behind in the deciding frame, made a clearance
26.
on 50, missed the final pink, and he potted pink and black to win on the black. So this time, did decide to go into them.
31.
Didn't quite catch the pink absolutely full in the face. You can see they just caught it slightly on the left-hand side, but he was okay.
32.
The way he went into them, I think, on the balance of everything, he should have been on the red. But in the end, he was lucky to find that gap.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to hit that obviously full in the face to split the reds everywhere, and he's played a couple of those today where he actually hit the pink absolutely full in the face and hasn't landed on anything. On that one, didn't really catch it as he would have wanted, and he's actually landed pretty good.
And this is where Vafaei excels. He's a very accomplished break builder.
38.
Yeah, his cue ball is usually very, very good.
39.
It's a nice little shot there. Lots of left-hand side through the yellow and the brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really is. Excellent player. He can keep himself fit for the rest of the season. He can keep playing like he showed the form of
51.
in the World Championship. I'm sure he can rise back up those rankings again. Has been up as high as number 15. Sure, that will be one of his targets to get back in the top 16. Started off with 3 wins out of 3 in the qualifiers. Looks like he's overdone that one though.
58.
And he's not over the line yet in this frame. He's got a nice lead, 58 points. All the colours on the spots. So, needs to be careful.
Yeah, in terms of ability, he's a top 16 player, but like the old saying, Lee, these days there are more than 16 top 16 players out there. Probably about 32.
Yeah, there are some great players on the tour at the moment. Standard is terrifically high. When Hossein beat Judd in that last 16 match at the Crucible. Oh, you see him. Well, maybe you got the wrong player, Phil. It was Hossein, I think, it's good at the plants.
Did he spy that at the last moment? Because initially he didn't seem interested.
59.
Obviously, there was a large degree of safety involved as well.
Yeah, we're just saying when Hossein beat Judd and played so well, it shows how difficult it is. Just beat arguably the best player in the world for the last 4 or 5 years. And then you come up against Buiza, who Hossein described as playing computer game snooker. Same shot here for Fan. Just got to slightly adjust. He's not adjusted enough. Doesn't want the cue ball to go behind the green.
4. 3 ball.
So that 4-point foul means that Fan Zhengyi can only tie now.
Well, so many options here. We could ask Fan to play again. He could take the aggressive route and try and pot one. But I think putting Fan back in where he has left the cue ball, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, he has to make sure he hits the red this time. Yeah, caught the red too thick, but had to make sure he hit the red. And this time, no mistake. Surely seal this second frame.
Well, in his first match, he came back from 1-0 down to win 3-1 against Oliver Sykes.
9.
Doesn't need a win here. A draw would be sufficient.
Yeah, and 2 pretty entertaining frames, it has to be said. Both players like to get on with it. Both players good scorers.
16.
A good match so far.
17. 24. 25. 32. 32 and the frame.
Just like that, Hossein Vafaei back on level terms. He needs one more frame to top the table. Well, over on table 2, it looked like a fait accompli. It looked as though Liam Davis was going to win 3-0, but he missed a sitter of a red. And now Huang Zhihao in frame 3 could still steal this. And if he does so, it would be a serious blow to Davis's chances.
Well, that was a pretty good shot there from Huang. Tough red though. If you can pot it. Got all the colours sitting on their spots. And that's an excellent shot.
You wouldn't believe the red that Davis missed when he realised it had wobbled in the jaws. He looked completely astounded.
Yeah, a couple of times through this group today with Huang has had chances to clear and hasn't done it. He'll be very disappointed if he doesn't do it from that one.
You can see all of the action all of the time on Table 2 on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel, and we'll keep you updated. Now, though, back to the crunch match on Table 1, where neither of them are holding back.
Yeah, so 2 frames to play. Fan has to win both if he's to win this group.
1.
Well, he's coming round to see if he can get through to the black. I don't think he can.
Pink ball.
This could be the end of Liam Davis's hopes of topping the table as the pink just about struggles in. The black, not a certainty, mind you, for Huang. What a lifeline, coach.
Yeah, I did say a few times today he's had chances very similar to that to clear up. Mr. Pink against Ben Wollaston, and I think the first frame of the day, and he'd be bitterly disappointed.
But now Liam Davis with a 3-0 win. You never know, depending on what happens in the last match against Ben Wollaston or Noppon Sankam. He could be one of the few players to lose a match and still win a group.
Not the best shot there from Hossein. Would have expected to pot that red. Could have certainly left an easier red for Fan.
So many permutations in the Table 2 group. So Liam Davis now has 6 points. He's won 7 frames, lost 4. If Noppon Sankam loses to Ben Wollaston, 3-0, he would have got 6 points as well. Frames won 6, lost 4. But Wollaston would go to 6 points also, and he'd be on 7 frames won, 3 lost, so he'd be the table topper. 3-1 to Wollaston. Well, Wollaston and Davis would both finish 6 points, both winning 7 frames for the loss of 4. And Davis won their head-to-head. But Noppon would be on 6 points as well. 7 frames won, lost 4. Exactly the same. So then it would come down to a mini table, and it might come down to the high break.
Yeah, I think Liam Davis currently has the highest break, Phil, if I'm correct.
Yeah, 1-2-1. Of course, if Sankalm beats or draws with Ben Wollaston, all of those permutations go out the window. The tie is the group champion. After going through all of that, Lee, I think I'm off for a lie down.
Slightly scrappier start to this frame. Pink already out of play. Black currently in the middle of the red, so even if one of these players does get a chance, it'll be difficult at the moment to make a break.
So Vafaei misses the red, walks away from the table, and then just looks back in anger when he realises the error of his ways.
It's a good pot from Fan. Cue him as slightly awkward, but if he's going to continue this break, he's going to need another good pot. Yeah, that was far from easy.
Fan Zhengyi, 1.
And the added kick in the teeth you're going to see here. Once he'd missed the blue then comes back and jolts the cue ball down towards a much easier red than it would have been otherwise.
Yeah, played that nicely.
two group deciders are being played simultaneously. Noppon Sankam has just started out against Ben Wollaston.
Seven.
Yeah, similar little shot that he played there to the red before. Played it very, very well. I'd love to go into that pack of reds to see if he can get that black into play. Well, he's okay. Would have loved to have just promoted
12.
that black towards the right-hand black pocket. You could see he played that on the side where the black was, hoping
13.
to knock it towards the right-hand black pocket, but he still ended up on a red, so still in decent position.
Eighteen. 19.
We said earlier, won 3 out of 3 in his qualifying matches at this venue a couple of weeks ago. Made 4 tons in those 3
24.
matches as well. And if he can win this frame, he'll have won this group as well. So it'll be an excellent
25.
start to the season for Hossein Vafaei.
When he was unable to play well because of the injury that just came out of nowhere, it must have been purgatory, because I think of all the injuries you can have, the neck shoulder injury is the most restrictive. So consequently, now he's feeling better.
30.
It must give him a whole new perspective. Just glad to be out there.
One.
He was actually so concerned about it that he, at one point, consulted the Iranian Olympic doctor.
Yeah, I think if you play this game, and you play it for a number of years, and you
36.
you don't get any back or neck problems, back, neck, shoulder, I think you've been extremely lucky.
37.
Well, the classic case of someone who had to retire very prematurely was Martin Clark, who was still very high in the rankings, but his neck was so bad, had to pack it in. Remained in snooker. He's now one of the tournament directors. Does a fine job, does Martin.
42.
Yeah, he's going along very nicely here. Just concentrating on getting top side of the blue. He's taking these reds, and every red he takes opens up another one. That red has now freed another one to the opposite black pocket. Things looking very good here for Hossein Vafaei. Blue puts him 47 points in front, so
14.
red and blue should be enough to win this group. It's been an excellent effort, this one, Phil.
It has, and you know, it's still very early in the season. We're not out of the month of June yet, but I just get the feeling with Vafaei, the new campaign is going to be a successful one for him.
55.
very strong frames here. After excellent start from Fan. That's what the top players do.
63.
Produce their best when they need it the most. And he certainly is a top player.
70.
Yeah, much better than his official world ranking of 28 would suggest. So he had a century earlier. Lee said he made 3 centuries in the qualifiers recently. So I reckon if he clears up here, it would be his 5th of the season already. Oh, put the bock on that, didn't I?
Hossein Vafaei, 71.
But
Ends the frame.
he's done enough. The match isn't over. There's still one more frame to play, but the main issue has been decided. Hossein Vafaei is the group champion, regardless of whether he wins this match or draws. Right now, the Iranian leads by 2 frames to 1. Interestingly, you know, this format is very, very tough. These groups are so volatile, fortunes can fluctuate wildly, and that's been the case in Group 29. Over on Table 2, Ben Williston only on 3 points at the moment, but if he were to win the last match against Noppon Sankam, the apple cart would be turned over, as they say. The only thing we know for sure right now, Wang Jihao is going to finish at the bottom of the group with 0 points. In fact, he didn't win a single frame today, lost 9 out of 9. Can Liam Davis come back from effectively the dead? Will Ben Williston overcome Noppon Sankam when it matters? Or can Sankam complete an unbeaten run to the top of the table? Right now, I can tell you Williston is in the balls. He's leading by 23 points to 0 against Sankam in the first frame. So this group is completed, although the last frame yet to be played. So that's 13 completed groups in the tournament so far. And it means 9 top seeds have been successful. Really good strike rate given the harshness of the format, Lee.
Yeah, but it just goes to show you, and that's why they are the top seeds.
Fan's okay. He's guaranteed second place at least. If he loses the match, he and Florian Nursler will both be on 4 points, but
11.
Fan's frame difference will be slightly superior. Another upshot of Vafaei being successful. We now have 5 nations represented in the second stage of the tournament, the last 32. England, China, Wales, Scotland and Iran.
Always nice to see Wales there, Phil.
Yeah, doubly represented. By Dylan Emery and Jackson Page.
Yeah, Jackson has got off to a wonderful start this season.
26.
He hasn't yet lost a match, won all his matches in the qualifiers, won his group, exactly like Hossein is going to do.
That's when you hear the referees just whispering to the players, just give me a second. When the pink spot is occupied and they know they have to place the pink closest to its own spot in a direct line with the black. I think he might have a chance of putting it on its spot here, but it's a very delicate operation.
Yeah, this is...
Oh, maybe here I need to...
This is certainly where you don't want to drop that pink.
I was at a Matchroom League match many years ago in Crawley. And the poor old referee dropped a ball right in the middle of the pack and they went everywhere. Put those back.
Yeah, I've seen somebody do it in a league match.
32.
Drop the pink straight in the middle of the reds. Obviously, he's not going to win the group now, but Fan has played very well today. Looked very good. Nice to see him playing well again.
38.
Yeah, Vafaei hasn't been overwhelmingly superior. I think he has been a little more reliable. Let's put it that way. That's the difference.
Yeah, I think he was maybe helped a little bit by his opponents in the first two games. Both Oliver Sykes and Florian Nursler both had good chances to win frames against him. It's all right having the chances. You got to take them. That's another excellent pot. Very tough red. Now, can he pot the blue and go on and win this final frame?
I think he can take plenty, though, from the way he's played into his next engagement, which, as Lee mentioned a while ago, qualifies for the Chinese Grand Prix, the English and British Opens.
Yeah, there's three big qualifiers to come. There'll be 5 tournaments already played, well, and including this one, 6.
52.
So those qualifiers extremely important.
The plot thickens on table 2 Ben Wollaston is going to win the first frame from Noppon Sankar.
55.
3 players could finish on 6 points, and it could be devilishly difficult to work out who's going through.
Yeah, I haven't got to work that out. If that does happen.
56.
I must say, this has been excellent 4 frames from these 2 players. So
62.
62 points in front, 67 still remaining, but just this simple red.
63.
Yeah, he's not the leading light of Chinese snooker, but he's got a really big upside, and when he plays his best,
70.
he could be really difficult to stop because he's not frightened. Plays fearless snooker.
76.
Yeah, I think we might, well, see him have a few good runs this season.
77.
Well, it's very unfortunate not to beat Sean Murphy at the Crucible a couple of months ago.
Yeah, started the season 57th in the world rankings. That's a precarious spot, but I would be astounded if he lost his place on tour.
Fan Zhengyi, 84.
Doesn't finish with a century, but he does with a run of 84. And so that was a fluent match. Hossein Vafaei getting the desired result. It's a 2-all draw, and that means with 7 points, Vafaei is at the top of the table. Fan Zhengyi comes in second place with 5 points. Florian